How you doing, everybody? My name is Derek Armstrong. I just actually want to start a little podcast thing and kind of like document my recovery as it's going along and share some of the things with you that I'm going over in class. It's practicing honesty. When we feel trapped and pressured, it takes great spiritual and emotional strength to be honest. Many of us every time we try to avoid being honest, it backfires on us. Honesty may be uncomfortable, but the trouble we have to endure when we're dishonest is usually far worse than discomfort of telling the truth. Honesty is one of the fundamental principles of recovery. We apply this principle right from the beginning of our recovery. When we finally admit our powerlessness and unmeasurability, we continue to apply the principle of honesty each time we're faced with the option of either living in fantasy or living life on its own terms. Learning to be honest isn't always easy, especially after the covering up and deception so many of us practiced. In our addiction, our voice may shake as we test our newfound honesty, but before long, the sound of the truth coming from our own mouths settles any doubt. Honesty feels good. It's easy living in the truth than living a lie. Just for today. Today I will honestly embrace life. With all of its pressures and demands, I will practice honesty even when it is awkward to do so. Honesty will help, not hurt. Many efforts to live clean and recover. So with that, there was a long time that I was dishonest with myself. I always tried to carry everybody else's cross. Try to put everybody else's problems on my shoulders and make sure that they was doing good in life as well, and kind of left myself out. It wasn't until recently, I found the courage to think about myself and what I need in life and what's important for me, and figuring out that, until I fix myself, there's nothing that I can do for anybody, because a broken me isn't going to do nothing for nobody. Until I can be whole and center myself, I can't help nobody. So, I've been to treatment twice. This is my third time. ASA twice. But I don't see that as a failure. I actually see that as a strength, because each time that I was here, I learned something. Yes, I left, but I was still working on myself. I still knew that I deserved better out of life. So this time, I'm going for it, full-fledged. Nothing stopping me. So I actually went through Facebook the other day. I deleted probably 100 people. Even the person that I shared the last 2 years of my life with on the streets. Jumping in and out of dumpsters, finding food, pushing a buggy around Portsmouth, getting junk. I really humbled myself lower than I really would want to admit. Back on, sorry, bad connection. Anyhow, but through my addiction, I have found that I just deserve better. And what I was saying, the person that was with me the last 2 years, I cared for the person. I don't want to see nothing happen to her. As of any addicts out there, I don't want to see anything happen to nobody, because we all deserve better in life. But it's not until they realize that they need help before they can help themselves, because nobody can force them to go to treatment, just like nobody can force me to go to treatment. I had to want it for myself. Yes, my parole officer does want me to complete a 2.5, but I could walk out. But I'm back again, bad connection, sorry, just bear with me. I can walk out those doors anytime I want, and probably as long as I check in, I wouldn't even get in trouble. Just my irresponsibility of not checking in is what's led me to my numerous visits to DeSoto County Jail. Unbearably, so I I actually just want to, I want to share my story. I'm not hiding it no more. It makes me feel better to get it off my shoulders. I'm not an innocent person by no means. But the one thing I can say is that I'm working on myself. And I'm not the person I was yesterday. I'm a better person than I am today. And tomorrow I'll be a better person than I am right now. And that's what I'm working to strive towards. But like I said, I just want to share some of the things that we're going over in class, you know what I mean? And read it to you. This is actually, it helps me in my recovery. And whatever helps or whatever sticks, I'm going to try, because I know that I'm a good-hearted person. And I know that I deserve better at life. I'll be 40 years old in October. I know I don't look 40. No pictures, please. But anyhow, I just want to share some of the stuff with you, like this little pamphlet right here. It's the Early Recovery Skills Group. And it's 5 common problems in early recovery, new solutions. It says, everyone who attempts to stop drugs and alcohol use runs into situations that make it very difficult to maintain sobriety. The following chart lists 5 of the most common situations encountered during the first week of treatment. Next to these problems are some suggestions, alternatives for dealing with these situations. Problem: using friends and associates. Continued association with old friends or friends who use can trigger. Okay? Alternate: try to make new friends at 12-step meetings or other spiritual recovery groups. Try new activities that will increase your chances of meeting sober people. People activities with sober friends or family members. Anger or irritability. Small events can create feelings and anger that seem to preoccupy the thinking process. Okay? Alternative. Tell yourself to follow recovery of brain chemistry. Moods will affect. It's a natural part of recovery. Exercise helps. Talking to a therapist or a supportive friend helps. Okay? Problem: alcohol in the home. Even if you decide to stop drinking, it doesn't mean everyone else in your house will decide to stop. All the drugs and alcohol if possible. Ask others if they would refrain from drinking and using at home for a while. If you continue to have problems, consider moving out for a while. I strongly suggest, leaving old friends in the past. Like I said, the person I spent the last 2.5 years, whatever, with out there on the streets, did everything with that person, I finally realized that that person was just holding me back, and I got to protect myself and think about myself. So that's something that I did. And as hard as it was, and as cold as it made me feel, I kind of felt cold-hearted. But in reality, it's not cold-hearted, because we all got to think about ourselves. Anyhow, we all got to think about ourselves, because usually not anybody's going to do it but yourselves. You got to take initiative and do it. So, boredom or loneliness. My key thing, I think, was, the boredom and loneliness led me to a lot of drug use. I was a lonely person for a while, but I finally come to the point where I accept those things, and I'm able to move on past it and actually work on myself. I went through a breakup a few years ago with my youngest daughter's mom, and it seemed to put me through like a midlife crisis, and I ended up hanging myself. She cut me down, did CPR and everything, I wore marks around my neck for weeks, from hanging myself. That was pretty intense, and until, mental health meds ain't for everybody, they numb me to the situation, so I actually had to not take my mental health meds and, move past it, because we can't change nothing in the past. All we can do is look forward to the future. So that's what I did, and it was hard. I've been trying to find God. I've been trying to find spirituality in God and ask Him for help. And He seems to be helping me. But He's really helping me right now. And I'm still doing my meditations. I'll meditate every night before I go to bed. I pray for everybody every night before I go to bed. I love everybody, and I just want everybody to be happy and live a wholehearted life, you know. But it says, you know, stopping drug and alcohol use often means that many usual activities and people must be avoided. True. So, you know, put new activities in your schedule. Go back to activities you enjoyed before your addiction took over. Develop new friends at outside meetings. Consider exchanging the telephone numbers. Find different people that you don't know. Find people in active AA meetings, active NA meetings, all of that. You know, walk up to somebody, get their number, start having a conversation with them. I promise you, you'll find more in common with them than you ever imagine. And, you know, it always helps to talk to someone like-minded. So with that, let's see what's on this next page here. Let's see. Let's go to alcohol arguments. Have you been able to stop using alcohol completely? For people addicted to cocaine, methamphetamines, opiates, and prescription drugs, alcohol use is often not seen as a problem. About 6 weeks into the recovery process, many people return to alcohol use. Have your addiction brain played with the idea? There are some of the most common arguments against stopping the use of alcohol. 1. I came here to stop using drugs, not to stop drinking. Drug treatment includes stopping alcohol as well as other drugs use. It is part of recovery for addiction. So remember, you know, if you have a problem and you're using, you know, opiates, methamphetamines, you know, benzos, anything like that, you're drinking on them. For one, it's not healthy, obviously. It's not safe. It could take your life. But, you know, one substitute for one is no better than the other. So, in drinking, no matter what anybody says, drinking does lead to other drugs. It is a gateway, and it is a drug. So, I've drinking not used, so it doesn't make any difference. Drinking over time greatly increases the risk of relapse, and doesn't necessarily cause relapse any more than a single cigarette causes lung cancer. However, with continued drinking, the risk of relapse are greatly increased. And, you know, I agree with this because, you know, when I was, I don't know, 21, 22, 18, something like that, I don't know. Every time I'd get drunk, I'd be driving around looking for a pain pill. I was back, you know, I'm 40, so, you know, 20 years ago, that's when the pain pills was out. I was always looking for a pain pill. I wanted a pain pill every time I got drunk. I'd snort that pain pill and then suck some beer up my nose to wash it down, you know. So anybody that says that beer isn't a gateway drug, I mean, it is. I mean, it alters your personality and alters who you are. And there are rash decisions that you normally wouldn't make if you were sober and clear-minded. Just remember that. All right. Drinking actually helps when I have cravings. I drink, calms me down, and the cravings go away. It eventually intensifies cravings, even if one drink seems to reduce cravings. I'm not an alcoholic, so why do I need to stop drinking? If you're not addicted to alcohol, you should have no problem stopping alcohol use. If you can't stop, maybe alcohol is more of a problem than you realize. I'm never going to use drugs again, but I'm not sure I'll never drink again. You know, I mean, I want to be straight honest with you. I'm still working on myself. I kind of still feel that way. I'm not saying that it's right because it's probably not right. So, you know, I mean, it says here, you know, make a commitment to total abstinence, which is a good thing to do, total abstinence. So if you got total abstinence, you ain't got to worry about nothing. Choose a period of time that feels comfortable to you. Give yourself a chance to make a decision about alcohol with a drug-free brain. That's right. Drug-free brain, alcohol-free brain. You're going to make more clearer, rash decisions. If you reject alcohol abstinence because forever scares you, then you're justifying drinking now and risking becoming re-addicted to drugs. Anybody disagree with that? Then I don't know. It sounds right to me. Let's see. Give me one moment, please. let's see what I got in my handy dandy notebook. Let's see. All right, here is the whole total reason that I want to start this podcast. This podcast is going to be based on the 12-step program. I was just actually reading this stuff here, just letting everybody get a feel, maybe let people join. I don't know if anybody's joined. I really can't see the phone that well from here where I got it set up. But if not, just you all help me, so thank you. So I'm going to read this. It might be just a little bit lengthy, but I read decently quick, so they go by pretty quick. So, ready to go by pretty quick, so here we go. 12-step introduction. What is a 12-step program? In the 1930s, Alcoholics Anonymous, AA, was founded by two men who were unable to deal with their own alcoholism through psychiatry or medicine. They formed Alcoholics Anonymous to introduce addicted people to these principles of self-help. The AA concept had been adapted for stimulants and other drugs, addictions, and even a compulsive behaviors such as gambling, overeating, compulsive sexual behaviors. What people addicted to drugs and alcohol have found in the fellow addicted people can provide enormous support and help to one another. For this reason, these groups are called fellowships, where participants show concern and support for one another through mutual sharing and understanding. Do I need to attend 12-step meetings? If outpatient treatment is going to work for you, it is essential to establish a network of support for your recovery. Attending treatment sessions without going to 12-step meetings may produce a temporary effect, but without involvement in self-help programs, you will develop a truly successful recovery matrix. Patients should attend at least 3 12-step meetings per week. During their treatments, many successful sober people go to 90 meetings in 90 days. The more participants in treatment and 12-step meetings, the greater chance for recovery. So, I actually wouldn't mind trying to do this 90 meetings in 90 days, but why I'm here at the place that I'm at right now, I don't think that'd be possible. But I can do this right here and count this as a meeting because I'm sharing, and it makes me feel good. So, I'm counting it. Anyhow, can I go to CA, AA, MA, CMA, or NA? Excuse me. Yes. Although each type of meeting focuses somewhat on a different substance, CA focuses on cocaine, AA on alcohol, MA on marijuana, CMA on methamphetamine, and NA on narcotics. The basic principles are the same. Many people with cocaine problems prefer AA for a variety of reasons. The important thing is to feel comfortable and get as much of the meeting as possible. Are all meetings the same? No. There are different types of 12-step meetings. Speaker meetings feature a recovering person telling his or her personal story of drug and alcohol use and recovery. Topic meetings have discussions on a specific topic such as fellowship, honesty, acceptance, and patience. Everyone is given a chance to talk, but no one is forced to do so. Step tradition meetings and special meetings for the 12 steps and 12 traditions. Another component of 12-step programs are discussed. 4. Big Book. Meetings focus on reading a chapter from the Big Book, Alcoholics Anonymous, which is often a story about someone's personal experience and recovery-related topic. We can join. Nobody really joins CA, AA, or NA. They're not organized that have dues, leaders, or memberships lists. People who have a desire to stop using drugs simply go to meetings. Are 12-step programs religious? No, none of the 12-step programs are religious, but spiritual growth is considered a part of recovery. However, the spiritual choice participants make are very personal and individual. Each person decides what higher power means to him or her. They are atheists as well as religious people in the programs. How do I find a meeting? You can call directory information, ask for a AA, CA, or NA, and speak to someone who can tell you what and where the meetings are scheduled. Directories are also available. They list meetings by cities, addresses, meeting times, as well as given information about each meeting, who the speaker will be, whether there is a step study, and whether it is a non-smoking meeting, a men or women's meeting, or a gay meeting. For example, Another way to find a good meeting is to ask someone who goes to 12-step meetings. What are sponsors? The first few weeks and months of recovery can be frustrating. Many things may happen that are confusing and frightening during a difficult period. There will be many times when recovering people need to talk about problems and fears. Sponsors can help guide newcomers through this process. All right, let's move over here on page 33, or page 3 or 4, let's say. What do sponsors do? Sponsors help the newcomers by answering questions and explaining the 12-step recovery process. Number 2, sponsors agree to be available to talk and listen to their sponsees' difficulties and frustrations and share their own insights and solutions. Number 3, sponsors make recommendations and suggestions for people that their sponsors are having. These recommendations come from their personal experiences with long-term sobriety. Number 4, sponsors are people with whom addiction-related secrets and guilty feelings can be easily shared. They agree to keep these secrets confidential and to protect the newcomer's anonymity. Sponsors warn their sponsees, when they get off the path of recovery. Sponsors are often the first people to know when their sponsees experience a slip, a relapse. Thus, sponsors often push their sponsees to attend more meetings or get help for problems. Number 6, sponsors often give their sponsees guidance in working through the 12 steps of AA, CA, or NA, and other groups. How do I choose a sponsor? Selecting a sponsor is easy. The newcomer simply asks someone to be his or her sponsor. Most people will select a sponsor who seems to be living healthy and responsible lives, and who seems to be having something they want. Excuse me. The following. Number 1. A sponsor should have several years of sobriety from all mood-altering drugs. Number 2, a sponsor should have a healthy lifestyle and not be struggling with major problems or addiction. Number 3, a sponsor should be an active, regular participant in the 12-step meetings, as a sponsor should be someone who actively works the 12 steps. You know, on that right there. But as long as you can find somebody that's been an addict before and they have multiple years clean, you know, and when I say multiple, I'm talking 3 or more. That's just my preference. I mean, everybody's different. They can see things right. But I mean, I feel if a man's made 3, 5, 8, 10 years, they're doing good. Well, that's somebody to look up to. That's somebody, you know, it's like they always say in there, how'd you do it? Well, that's the person I want to know how they did it. You know, I have a very good friend. I ain't gonna say no names, but she kept telling me, you know, Derek, work the 12 steps. Don't leave before your miracle happens. And that stuck with me. I mean, it always hit me real hard, and it always stayed in the back of my mind. What's this miracle she's talking about? I still don't know what this miracle she's talking about is, but I'm willing to put into work to find out. So, I'm trying to get my hands on one of these 12-step books. I've asked, you know, the counselors, this person, that person, you know. I'm yet to get one yet, but I'm sure the good Lord will send it my way when it's time. So, when He does, I will be reading out of it, and hopefully everybody will join me and share my live video, and anybody that's dealing with active addiction, hopefully something I say will trigger them and make them want to come and seek help. You know, because I'll advocate for you. You know, get a hold of me. I'll talk to the right people to get you in treatment. If you need help, I'm there. I'll do whatever I can to help you. So, with that being said, let's see. Okay. Sponsor should be someone whom you can relate. You may not always agree with your sponsor, but you need to be able to respect your sponsor. Respect goes a long ways. You know, if you're young, you're immature, you think you know it all, throw that shit out the window, because nobody knows it all. I don't know it all. Everybody, no matter how old you are, you've learned something every day. So leave that punk shit at home. If you're real serious about your sobriety, just listen. Take advice. and follow through with that advice. Something I've been guilty of a lot is not listening. Just if I'd listened, just if I'd done this, just if I'd done that. Hell with that shit, it's in the past now. Live for today. Think about tomorrow, you know? Number 5, you should choose a sponsor whom you are not likely to become sexually or romantically interested in. Yeah, I couldn't stress that enough. You want somebody that's going to be raw. You want somebody that's not going to sugarcoat nothing. They're going to tell you when you're doing wrong. They're going to tell you to get your ass to a meeting. Excuse my French. Alternatives to 12-step program. There are alternatives to 12-step groups that are not based on concepts of a higher power. These various groups offer similar options for sobriety and rational recovery. Although these alternatives have different philosophies, they generally operate a self-help approach that focuses on personal responsibilities, personal empowerment, and strength through a sober social network. Questions for discussion? Have you ever been to a 12-step meeting? If so, what was your experience? You know, I just went to a 12-step meeting tonight. I did not speak. It wasn't because I didn't want to or because I was embarrassed or anything like that. Tonight was, for me, it was just trying to take it all in and listen to everybody's stories. And when I hear like-minded stories, you know, I can't help to tear up, obviously. You know, I'm a crybaby. But I just took it all in tonight, but I plan on in the future, I want to be one of these people that stand up and they speak and they inspire people, you know. Inspire people to stay at that meeting, you know, to keep coming back. Because life is too short to be sitting around nodded out or be going 100 miles an hour, you know. And I'm sure, you know, 90% of this world anymore, they got kids, man. We got to set role models. You know, we got to set role models for the kids, you know, if anything, you know. So, do you plan to attend any 12-step meetings? If so, where and when? You know, I've not got all the knowledge yet on where these 12-step meetings are. I'm still researching. I'm still learning. You know, I'm 43 days clean today. Woo woo! But anyhow, I'm happy about that, to be honest with you. But I'm still learning, so I don't know where all these meetings are, but as soon as I find out where they are, I will share them with you. You know, tonight I went to the BMV, the old BMV in New Boston. They have a meeting there. Today's Wednesday, so it was at 8 o'clock, 8 to 9. So if you guys ever want to come out there, it's there. And it'll always be there for you. And really nice people, decent-sized group, you know what I mean? But they're good people. How might you make us use of 12-step meetings to stop using? You know, I mean, I can't answer this because I've not got to read the 12-step book yet. But I'm hoping that it shares knowledge in there that is really going to put me on the right path. Man, got this really dear friend, like I said, you know, she assures me, but the 12-step program it's the way to go. So I trust her, and that's what I'm going to do. So, see here, it says, roadmap for recovery. Recovery from drugs and alcohol use is not a mysterious process. After the use of drugs and alcohol is stopped, the brain goes through a biological readjustment. This readjustment process is essentially a healing of the brain chemistry, changes that were produced by drug or alcohol use. It is important for people to recover to understand why they may experience some physical and emotional changes in their thinking process during the beginning stages of recovery. Withdrawal stage. During the first days after substance use is stopped, some people experience difficult symptoms. The extent of the symptoms is often related to the amount, frequency, and type of substance used. For stimulant users, the first 3 to 10 days can be accompanied by drug craving, depression, low energy, difficulty sleeping, increased appetite, and difficulty concentrating. Although stimulant users do not experience the same degree of physical symptomology as alcohol users, the physiology symptoms of cravings and depression can be quite severe. People who drink alcohol in large amounts have the most severe symptoms. These symptoms can include nausea, low energy, anxiety, shakiness, depression, emotionality, insomnia, irritability, difficulty concentrating, and memory problems. These symptoms typically last 3 to 5 days, but they can last up to several weeks. Some people must be hospitalized to detoxify safely. So, alcohol is serious. I know a lot of people that just drink and they're like, man, I ain't never done this and I ain't never done that. If I can't get what I want out of a beer, then I don't fucking need it. Well, let me tell you something right now. Beer is, in my opinion, one of the most dangerous things to do. I mean, yeah, you ain't gonna OD on it, but it does long-term damage. Long-term. You get cirrhosis of the liver, It's mind-altering as hell, Most people, when they drink, they're meaner than hell. They don't treat people the way they would treat them if they was, sober and clear-minded. So, just some things to look at, you know what I mean? I can go on and on about it, but just think about it, For opiate users and prescription drug users, a 7 to 10 day period of withdrawal, long before benzodiazepine users, can be physically uncomfortable and may require hospitalization or medication. For people dependent upon these substances, discomfort, many people experience nervousness, insomnia, depression, and difficulty concentrating. Successfully completing withdrawal from these substances is a major achievement in early recovery. So, if you're going through any of this, especially for opiate users, benzodiazepine, Xanaxes, whatever you want to call them, and you make it through that withdrawal, give yourself a pat on the back. Man, because I'll tell you what, I was sick for 18 damn days before I went to prison on opiates, and I swore I'd never get back on it, and I didn't. That broke me. I'll tell you that right now. It broke me. So, for marijuana users, how you doing, buddy?
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm just sitting here talking to some people. I think I got some people on there. I'm sharing what I'm doing today.
Oh, okay. I just heard you talking, and I didn't know what you was doing here.
Yeah. How you doing, mister?
I'm just got up and got my medicine, and got me a fudge round. And
A fudge round. That's good stuff.
Yeah, and getting ready to go back to bed.
Well, how you feel today?
I feel better. I feel like I got some rest.
Well, that's good. This is a very dear friend of mine. I want to choose to keep him anonymous.
Thank you.
I don't want no HIPAA to hit me or anything like that. I ain't got no waivers made up to where I'd put him on here. He's a good-looking old man for all the single ladies out there. Oh, my bad. I forgot. He's married.
Yes.
Sorry, girls. But yeah, he's a good guy. We lean on each other in here, and we put each other in check. And that's what we need in here, You always need someone to lean on. We've been trying to watch our cousin, so we owe the house probably about $1,000 right now. He's got a big dollar jar.
Yeah.
He's going to have to float me alone.
I'd do anything for you. You're a good man.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, buddy.
Okay, I'll let you get back to what you're doing.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to get back to the
Fudge round?
Yes.
You have a blessed night.
Again, God bless you.
God bless you.
Thank you.
See, you can find good people in recovery. Just because people's an addict doesn't mean they're bad. It just means they make bad decisions. And we're all guilty of making bad decisions. Anybody that says they're not, then excuse my French, they're a liar. Let's just put it that way. So, let's see, where was I at here? I was on opiates, talking about that. Let's go for marijuana. It says, for marijuana users, withdrawal symptoms include insomnia, restlessness, loss of appetite, depression, shakiness, irritability. Recent research demonstrates that long-term marijuana users exhibit increased aggressive behavior during their first week of abstinence. Very interesting, because didn't think there's any withdrawals from marijuana, but they are. Science proved it, and I am all about science. And I have seen people go through withdrawals from marijuana, and I have seen it make them. Actually, I have personal experience of it changing my mind and making me act in a way that I normally wouldn't, especially when I'm driving. Okay, early abstinence, honeymoon stage. This is the honeymoon stage is what they call it. For stimulant users, this 4 or 5 week period is called the honeymoon. Most people feel quite good during this period and often feel cured. This period should be used as an opportunity to establish a good foundation for recovery, because the honeymoon is not the end of the recovery process. If the energy, enthusiasm, and optimism felt by the substance users during this period are directed into recovery activities, it can be tremendously positive for the future success of the recovery effort. All right, for alcohol users, the next 4 or 5 weeks is a period where the brain is recovering. Although the physical withdrawal symptoms have ended, it is still necessary to get used to the absence of alcohol. Thinking may be unclear, concentration may be poor, nervousness and anxiety may be troubling, sleep is often irregular, and in many ways feels too intense. Yes, it does. For opiates and prescription drug users, there's essentially a gradual normalization during this period. In many ways, the process is similar to the alcohol recovery timetable. Slow, gradual improvement in symptoms and the evidence that the recovery is progressing. For marijuana users, a strong physiological dependence on the drug is often developed and may result in intense cravings as sessions of use. While symptoms of withdrawal and early abstinence may not be noticeable with marijuana as with some other drugs or alcohol, it is believed that many people relapse to prevent the occurrence of symptoms. Because marijuana is stored in the body, its effects may be felt for days or weeks following use. Habitual use of this drug interferes with the memory, speech comprehension, and decision-making ability, all of which continue to be noticeably affected during early recovery. All right, let's see here. Roadmap for recovery. Let's see. The wall. From 6 weeks to 4 months after drug and alcohol are stopped, a variety of annoying and troublesome symptoms may be experienced by many drug and alcohol users. These symptoms are caused by the continuous healing process in the brain. They are experienced mostly as emotional or thinking difficulties. They are often subtle, but can affect a patient's functioning. It is important to be aware that some of the feelings during this period are the result of brain chemistry. And if drugs and alcohol are avoided, then they will pass. Most common are symptoms of depression, irritability, difficulty concentrating, low energy, and general lack of enthusiasm. Relapse risk goes up during this period, particularly for stimulant users. Patients must focus on staying sober 1 day at a time. 1 day at a time. You know, my addiction, I heard that so many times that it almost got on my nerves. But now, it's something that I use myself. 1 day at a time. You know, because yesterday doesn't matter. The present is here, and we look forward to tomorrow. That's all we can ever do, and be thankful for what we got. Readjustments. After 120 days, the brain has substantially recovered. Now the recovering person's major job is developing a life that includes activities and fulfillment that support continued recovery. Although the difficult startup of the recovery process is over, hard work is needed to improve and maintain the quality of life. I have a demonstration here, you know. Pretty easy to get a job usually, you know what I mean? But that's not the hard part. The hard part's keeping that job. You know, getting up every morning, you know, brushing your teeth, having good hygiene, getting to work on time, because if you're on time, you're late. If you're early, you're on time. Talk to me about my dad. Yeah, you know, getting to work on time, things like that, you know, it has a lot to do with recovery, you know, because getting through those first 120 days, getting your mind unfold, get your thinking process going, and then setting some goals and going for your goals, Like right now, I have goals. My main goal, I haven't had a driver's license since I was 21 years old. So I've been working on trying to get my driver's license back because that's very important to me. It is a handicap not having them. So that's what I've been trying to do. And then after that, I need to get my vehicle fixed. You know, I got a Ford Ranger out there, so anybody that's got a power steering pump and a master cylinder for a 2000 Ford Ranger, standard, I don't know if it matters. I'm not a big mechanic, don't claim to be. Hit me up. I can use it, as long as you cheat me right. Let's see. You know, I did 22 days at a different program. I felt like I peaked there. So I came to this other program. You know, it doesn't matter where I'm at. What matters is I'm in a program. So I don't know how long I've been on here. I know that I can ramble on and on and on and on. I'm just like a motor mouth for real. But I do want to read this last thing right here before I talk about anything. Like I said, share my life. Have other people to join. Like it if you would. Whatever. And if anybody ever needs to talk, inbox me. I'm here to listen. Non-judgmental, strictly confidential. If you got a problem and I can help you in any way, you need help getting into sober living, you need help coming where I'm at or somewhere else, I'm sure I can point the finger in the right direction. You know, I've been here a couple of times now, and you know, after being here a few times, you do meet people. And I've always been the type of person that people like. I don't know what it is. I guess I'm just aggravating as heck, so they just normally just like me. But it's all in good faith, you know what I mean? I don't aggravate to aggravate, just, you know, not be a stick in the mud. So, I'm going to read this little thing right here. It's the shape of our thoughts. I want to read it. I mean, it's short. It says, by shaping our thoughts with spiritual ideals, we are free to become who we want to be. Addiction shapes our thoughts in its own way. Whatever their shape may once have been, they become mishappen. Once a disease took full sway over our lives, our obsession with drugs and self-molded our moods, our actions, and very shaped our lives. Excuse me. Each of the spiritual ideals of our program serve to straighten out one or another of the kinks in our thinking that developed in our active addiction. Denial is counteracted by admission, secretiveness by honesty, isolation by fellowship, and despair by faith. In a loving higher power, the spiritual ideals we find in recovery are restoring the shape of our thoughts and our lives to their natural condition. And what is that natural condition? It is the condition we truly seek for ourselves, a reflection of our higher dreams. I have dreams. I want things. I want to leave a legacy for my kids. You know, I've wasted 40 damn years of my life. Man up. It's time to, you know, going gets tough, go and get tougher. It's time to do this. And what better time than the present? Because our thoughts are being shaped in recovery by the spiritual ideal we find in our developing relationship with the God we've come to understand in NA. No longer does addiction shape our thoughts. Today our lives are being shaped by our recovery and our higher power. Just for today, I will allow spiritual ideals to shape my thoughts in that design. I will find the shape of my own higher power. And you know, I want to kind of give, you know, my intake on this higher power. You know, higher power does not necessarily mean the almighty God. Higher power can mean many different things. You know, I feel like my higher power is my independence. You know, that I feel like that's my magic. You know, if I got my independence and I don't have to rely on anybody but myself, that's what makes me feel good. That's what boosts my ego, you know. That's what makes me feel like I'm sexier than heck, you know, because I am. Big deal, can't help it. But enough about myself. I just, I'm very happy right now. Man, I don't think my mind's ever been this clear, like in my whole 40 years, to be honest with you. Do I got this? No, definitely I don't got this. When a person thinks they got this, you know, I'm working these steps and I'm doing it one day at a time. And that's all I can ever do is try and do it one day at a time. But I do have very good intentions, and I have a good vibe that I'm going to get everything I ever wanted. The good Lord and everybody, you know, they're my ancestors, my guardian angels. And I see numbers all the time, you know, 1111, 333s. You know, I Google them, I look them up, I see what they mean. You know, my angels are telling me I'm on the right path. I will have abundance of love. And I believe that. I believe it wholeheartedly. You know, I'm almost so happy that I don't know how to process it. So let's do a little processing in this podcast. You know, my day was a 10, meaning it was great. I had a great day, you know. My stress level, I'm going to say my stress level was a 3. And the reason I'm going to say it was a 3, you know, is because I've been living in this other house and everything where we're at and stuff, you know. And the living conditions have been a little rearranged and a little different right now. So that got me a little bit out of my character today, and it shouldn't have. But I checked myself, you know what I mean? I did some meditation and everything. But that just goes to show you, no matter how much you think you got it, nobody's perfect. And something's going to get us out of our bubble, or out of the way we want people to perceive us as being, you know? So, I did get a little bit out of my bubble today, and I don't know if I was just hangry or what I was, but I had this sweet woman order me a Giovanni's pizza and have it DoorDashed or delivered to me. You know who you are. Thank you. I love you. Man, I got so many amazing people around me right now, and the vibrational energy is just overwhelming with the love and respect that I have been receiving. That is just magnificent. I love it. And I'll be back tomorrow. Just look for my live. Whatever we go through in class tomorrow, I'll bring it until I can get my hands on one of the 12 Steps books. But initially, the 12 Steps is what I like to do on here, and I like you to do the 12 Steps with me, or at least watch me through them and see how I've grown. You know, I've been working out and doing a little self-care thing, so I need to get, I like to get me some incense and some bubble bath and stuff, and a couple candles, because I like to take me a bubble bath and just relax. You know, I know it sounds crazy, but you know, that's self-care, and that's something that I enjoy doing, you know. Just because I'm a man don't mean I don't like the finer things in life, you know. Doesn't mean I don't like to feel sexy too, shit. But anyhow, like I said, I can't see if anybody's joined. I've been rambling forever, so I'm sure somebody's clicked on there. I don't know. And really, you know, I want them to watch. I want them to hear what I have to say. Because, you know, like I said, something I say might trigger them to get help. And I hope that it does. I truly, genuinely hope that it does. Because, man, we all deserve better things in life. We do. So, if you need treatment, just reach out to me. Hell, I'll make you my bunkie if I have to. You know, I'll tie you up to the bed and make you go to meetings. Whatever. Just don't press charges. I don't need that. But for now, I'm gonna let you guys go because I can ramble and ramble and ramble. But I'm not really rambling. I'm just trying to be educational for you guys. So with that, I love you all and y'all have a good night. God bless you.